fjol så lovar 150 medarbetare på IKEA att testa produkter och lösningar som bidrar till ett mer bærekraftig liv i hjemmet. I løpet av det siste året så har vi
spart vann med å skifte til vannbesparende blandebatterier og bedre oppvaskmaskiner. Vi har alltid en flaske med kaldt vann stående i kjøleskapet, så vi slipper å la vannet renne.
Vi har sparat strøm ved å skifte til LED-belysning og energieffektive induksjonsovner. Og vi har skiftet til varmere dyner og lagt tepper på gulvene slik at vi kan skru ned innetemperaturen.
Vi har redusert matsvinn ved å organisere skuffer, skap og kjøleskap på en måte som gir oss oversikt over maten vi har hjemme.
Vi har lært oss å redusere, sortere og plassere. Vi har bevisat at små endringer i hjemmet gir store miljøgevinster.
Den viktigste jobben har vært å dele disse erfaringene med kollegaene våre.
Samtidig så er det her bare början. Nu är 100 nya IKEA-medarbetare engagerade i projektet. Och snart inviterar vi våra kunder så att de också kan göra ändringar i hemmet. Och på det sättet så får alla möjligheten till att leva ett mer bärkraftigt liv i hemmet. Så Zero, tack för utfordringen.
Kjempeflott.
Norsk næringsliv kan bidra til det grønne skiftet. Ta vel imot medlem av ekspertutvalget for grønn konkurransekraft i Norge og EUs forrige klimakommissær, Connie Hedegaard.
Yeah, thank you very much. This challenge was mentioned. I can tell you we have a challenge. After everything you have heard today in all these interesting interventions about what the rest of the world is doing, about the challenge, about the financing part, the investment part, the pricing part, you can imagine what it's like when someday this summer you have a telephone call from the Norwegian Prime Minister's office. Could you please help to find out how Norway can turn into a society characterized by green competitiveness, grønn konkurransekraft. As a former journalist, I will say that's the kind of questions it's easier to ask than to answer. So, Ida Kreutzer and myself, we have started sort of to identify three fundamentals. The Norway that we are going to sort of propose a vision for would still be a Norway with growth and prosperity, with jobs, and it must be a Norway that also contributes to solve the global challenge, not just outside Norway, but also inside Norway. It's not just the rest of the world that must reduce and change and become energy efficient and resource efficient and go into a circular economy. Also, Norway will have to go that way. And that despite the fact that Norway is world-class in delivering some of the solutions also that the world needs, also within sort of old technologies, in the fossil fuel sector, in the aluminum sector, biotechnologies, logistics. In many areas, the Norwegian products would be better and more clean than the products from their competitors. And that is good. But the difficult thing then is how to use these positions of strength in the transition while also yourself going low carbon, and how to create new strong sectors in a time where the petroleum sector is bound to lose relative strength. As you've heard, it's about setting targets, direction. It's about getting the pricing right, not just the carbon pricing, the pricing of pollution, the pricing of the taxation system, getting the incentives right, and it's about the overall framework and getting regulation right. We asked ourselves, we know all this, everybody knows this in Norway basically, but where are the barriers for moving in the right direction faster? For instance, everybody knows that there is a problem from you have the good idea at the universities or in the research laboratory to get it into the market, to get it to the market with the scale and the speed that we need. For instance, the public sector's role in pulling the markets, pulling innovation, for instance, through public procurement. For instance, is more cooperation also in the business community needed in order to speed up innovation? Should we be better at pooling our resources? We have this credo, don't pick winners. We hear it time and again. But on the other hand, we also need to prioritize and strengthen areas where Norway is spearheading. How do we do that? And how to use ICT even more systematically. There are really many questions. But in the expert committee, our angle is that the world can do this with a lot of opportunities. And our angle is that the rest of the world is changing. We will see it in Paris now. We see it already. The 150-some countries have already been mentioned, those who have now climate targets in place. The competitors do move. And climate solutions and efficient solutions will be a competitive edge in the future. Those who are too slow in moving in this direction will lose, because business as usual does not mean business as usual. If you continue business as usual, change, unplanned, unforeseen change is what you get. Is it easy to do this right? No. Is it cheap? No, it costs something. We should not sort of tell people that it doesn't cost anything, but the point is that it will cost us more not to do this. And there are lots of opportunities. I come from Denmark, where today green tech, clean tech accounts for 12% of the Danish export. Last year it grew by more than 15%, the year before more than 17%. It's now more than 60,000 jobs. So if we get it right, we can create a positive and a creative society. Provided that we leave the silo thinking behind, we need cross-cutting solutions, cross-cutting approach, cross-cutting organization. We must leave short-termism. You heard it from Nordea's representative. Short-termism is the biggest enemy of climate change, of addressing climate change. Our challenges are a longer term. We need to think for the longer term. And also provided that we start factoring in the co-benefits of getting things right now instead of continuing to invest in the society of yesterday, instead of the investments that we need, that would be to invest in the society of tomorrow. And my last point, what we really also need is to talk about something that we often do not talk enough about the behavior of each individual citizen, our culture. We cannot do this transition only through sort of top-down politics. We need to change behavior. We need to change consumption patterns. We need to sort of go from a use and throw out society to something that is much more circular thinking, recycle, use up, minimize waste, quality more than quantity, sharing instead of owning. All of this is a new parameter, and that will change conventional economic wisdom. The transitions must also be something where each citizen can see themselves. Norway and the Nordic area as such have a glorious tradition for creating livable, rich, truly sustainable and strong societies, and to do it through gradual but consistent transition. This is also what we need here. Others are moving. Norway's neighbors are moving. Mentioned Denmark, Sweden. UK reduced their emissions by more than 8% last year. Germany is now getting their Energiewende right. Rest of Europe is moving, but so is also the United States, China, Brazil, Korea. Your competitors are also moving. So Norway has a choice to continue business as usual, which will make you relatively comfortable, at least for a few years ahead, or to prepare the next steps in order not to only have been a world leader in the oil era, but also to become a world leader in the new low-carbon era. Ida Kreutzer and myself hope to get all of your concrete input and advice in order to achieve the forward-looking options instead of what Michael Liebreich, what was it he called it, the highly profitable decline. That is not what we need. We think the other thing is possible, but we need the input from business, and I think we will get some of it fairly soon. Thank you very much.